How's everybody doing? So, yesterday, day one, I did. I thought it went really well. You always gauge it off the ones, the first group. And so I thought they did a good job. And they were in it. Intensity's right. But there again, it's just the first day. It wasn't long. Certainly not that physical. No pads, but step in the right direction. On what? The podium. Oh, I don't. It's pretty big. I mean, that's the obvious. I don't know. Apparently this is a hot topic, right?
Did you think it was built with you in mind? I mean, just how physically.
Well, I don't know. It does have a good base to it, though. That's for sure. So I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on this thing. So. On another note, just because I know it's probably going to come up, Mahogany's dealing with an illness right now, so that's why he's not out there. So, as he, heals up here, then we'll get him out here, get him going. But that's what's going on there.
You did have 4 guys land on NFI, and we're off by the afternoon.
Yep, they're good, ready to go.
Conditioning. I'm just curious from your perspective. You played in this league. How is the conditioning test, I guess, changed, evolved? What is the demands on a player coming into training camp? What do they need to do to get on the field for you to start camp?
Yeah, well, I mean, you want to know they're in shape, and it's the bottom line for us is you got to pass the test. That's all it is. And back in the day, Coach Parcells, we ran 300-yard shuttles. I mean, you were going, and it was long distance, and it was endurance. But I would say it's changed a lot since then. Ours is more change of direction, short distances, 20, 30 yards with a change of direction in the middle, and then quick turnover for rest time. And so that's really it. But everybody's required to meet that criteria, and it's all good. So those guys are back. They're ready to roll. Everybody's passed it. So we're good.
Speaking of guys who are back, we didn't see Brian Branch or Marcus all of spring. I know it's early, no pads first day, but just maybe what you thought of them running around, and then maybe specifically with Branch, saw him play a little bit more safety. I know you guys talked about that this spring. What is it about that spot that you just like his skill set there?
Are you talking about Branch just the safety?
Yeah, and then also just what you thought of him and Marcus being back running. We didn't see them all spring, so just to get them back, that feeling.
Yeah, well, I think that's a lot of the we knew they were not going to be 100%, walk in day one doing full practice. But to be able to, keep them off of PUP, NFI, any of that, so that they can do the walkthroughs, maybe get a little bit individual, I think that goes a long way. And so it's good to have them out there. They're both doing well. Branch is a guy who's got a lot of flexibility and versatility in what he can do. Certainly we know he can play the nickel position, but just safety, look, you can make a lot of plays at the nickel and produce in this defense, but safety is, you're talking about, you got a lot of freedom within the structure, within the system to really, you talk about making plays, you can make some plays there. So we just feel like, man, Branch, it could suit him well and give him a chance to see where he can go with it, But we talked about it before. That's what this is. We have options now, and we got some guys that we think pretty highly of in the secondary room, and it's all about finding the best combination of, who's certainly outside, nickel, safety. And so we're just going to keep moving them and mixing them in. And, we had E-Man out there at nickel yesterday. We know Meek will be back out there today working some nickel. If he's in competition at safety. We're going to find our 4 or 5 best DBs that are going to go on the field.
Maybe just a follow-up to that. How nice is that entering camp knowing that you have that kind of flexibility? You can rearrange guys and see what they do and try to find that best combination. Maybe it wasn't always the case.
Well, that's what every team would hope for. You want that at every position. you know, the ability to have guys that do multiple jobs, that do have versatility. I mean, the more you have, and really the more that you have guys that are a little bit different. They have different skill sets. Actually, I think it's better. You know, it's offensively we talk about all the time. You know, now would we take two St. Browns? Absolutely. You know, I mean, who would not? But you know, to have guys that have a little bit different skill set. You got speed, you got possession, you got run after catch, you got you got the muscle, the one-on-one, big boy, you know, down in the paint. So, you know, it's no different on defense. And that's what we have right now. And it makes our life a lot easier as a coaching staff.
When we spoke to you yesterday, you talked about not living off reputation, putting the work first, but guys are vocal about their goals, Super Bowl, coming out and speaking it, you know, want to speak it into existence. Do you like that? Or how do you tinker with like them not getting too caught up in that and, you know, enjoying the process and the steps of getting there? Do you like them speaking it out loud and putting it on the atmosphere?
Well, I think more than anything, all I care about is the work. So as long as I know, man, they're in it and their attitude's right and there's an urgency about what we do and these guys are handling their stuff like pros and you feel the work out there, I'm good. Because that's what matters. The other stuff that comes out of their mouth, no problem. You know, as long as we're doing what we need to do out there, we're good to go.
Like some of the renovations that they put around, the players were saying they feel like the organization is showing how committed they are and the small things motivate them. As a player, can stuff like that, do you feel like you motivate, you know, players as well when they see the renovations around here and the things that the team's doing?
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, we've never shied away. Sheila and you know, and Rod have never shied away from, you know, what do we need to do to help these players? What can we give them? You know, what kind of updates can we do? And so, man, our training room is outstanding. We just, you know, we just revamped that whole thing. And I'm telling you what, it's top notch. And, you know, no different than we brought in Brett Fisher last year and his crew. And, man, it's all about how do we help these players and give them the very best. I mean, you want them to feel like I don't have to go somewhere else to get the best treatment that I can get or the best training I can get. Man, we want it all in this building. And we're committed to do that. So, yeah, I do think it goes a long way. I think they know that it is for them. So, you know, that's one of the things we're about here.
Dan, I'm curious, year by year, it's going to be tougher to crack the 53-man roster. I'm wondering for players like Isaiah Williams, who face more of an uphill climb, what can they do to stand out more in your eyes and the coach's eyes?
Well, look, I told them in day one, consistency. Man, you got a consistent production, you know, and it's somebody that just every day, man, they're making some plays, and I'm not talking about the flash plays, but they're where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. They're making the play that's there, and they just every day get just a little bit better, you know. And it's just I call it just good, steady, boring production. Like I love that. We all love that as coaches because you know exactly what you're going to get out of those players. And so I would tell you that that's going to go a long way.
James Houston's had such a interesting time here, practice squad, 8-sack burst, you know. It seemed like you were kind of maybe rebuilding him last training camp, and he was working his way back up the depth chart before he, you know, suffered the ankle injury. Taking some second team reps yesterday, it seems like he's kind of back on the up. What have you seen from him, you know, year to year in terms of doing what you were asking and expecting of him?
Well, I know this, he's in shape, and, you know, he knows he's got to be able to handle the Sam linebacker position for us. And no different than what we just talked about, man, consistency. You know, we got to be able to trust that he's gonna do what he needs to do, and that, you know, whatever we call, whatever defense we call, he's gonna handle it mentally, you know, and we can trust that. And so, you know, we anticipate him taking another step forward. And then on top of that, you know, the sub game, he goes in at defensive end and some of the rush. And just continue to work on his counter moves in the rush game. So, look, this will be a big camp for him. He knows that. And I know this. He's in good shape. He looks good. He feels good. And so we're excited to have him back out there.
What do you like most about Jameson Williams first day, the catches and the speed that he showed making touchdown grabs, or the ability to vomit and rally and get right back into the play?
Yeah, well, both really. And so as long as he keeps making those plays, he can throw up all he wants, you know. He's there again, it's day one, but man, it was good to see him out there running. You know, that was a hell of a throw by Goff. He went and got it, which is, you know, ran it down, which is great. And so he's there again. He's only going to get better every day. He'll just keep putting it in. But it's good to have him out there, and he's got the right mindset.
By extending Goff, St. Brown, Connect, they're all here. How important is that?
Yeah, that's part of our core. You know, we talk about it all the time. These guys have been here. We drafted them, and then certainly traded for Goff when we got here. Those are core pillars for us. So, you know, it is big. It's big, and you know, those are the guys that are going to help us get to where we need to go.
Pads haven't come on yet, but have you seen any dividends paid by the Terrell Williams hire yet?
Well, yeah, I have already, but there again, you know, without pads on, I don't want to go too far. I just know fundamentally, I already feel the difference in what we're doing with our D-line. You know, where we're striking, our ability to shed is starting to show up, man. I feel like we're just these little things that we emphasize, that he's emphasizing, are showing up. So, yeah, I do see it.
Last year at this time, it was Jahmyr Gibbs and Sam Laporta getting onto a practice field for the first time in the pros, but now that we've seen a year of them, where do you set expectations for that duo on offense in year two?
For Laporta and who?
Gibbs.
Yeah, well, I think they're no different than anybody else in our offense. You got St. Brown, you know, we're talking about J-Mo taking another step, Laporta taking another step, Gibbs taking another step. So, you know, everybody has got a place in this. David Montgomery, and so it's on them to just there again become more consistent. You're going into year two and get a little bit better at your craft. And all those guys, I said it the other day, are jockeying for opportunities for production, you know, and the guys that we can trust and count on are going to make plays for us are going to get more opportunities to make plays for us. So that's those two fall into that boat. All right.